Arsenal's penalty. Dermot Gallagher has said that it was soft. Said that there wasn't enough contact for it to be a penalty. What are you saying, Igal? Is this a stonewall penalty in your opinion?
It is soft, but he kicks him, and he doesn't.
Oh
even get
my God!
Yeah, I agree. One second. We've been given that against Leicester. Hector Bellerin kicked a Leicester player in the box. If you kick a player in the box and it's in the box and it's in the attacking third,
Was that a kick?
Bro,
was that a kick or grace or touch?
Did he not kick him? Did it touch his head?
Now, I swear to you, listen, I could touch you more through the camera than that. That was the sock was in his bag, yeah. The sock that would have been it.
Bro, I agree with you. No,
Stop. If that happened now, if you guys were winning 3-2, wait. If that was 3-2 and that happened to you guys in the end of the box and Salah went and done a little, do you know what I mean? Yeah, you'd be on here today berating Liverpool fans saying, "Oh, we've been cheated. We were on our winning run." Don't give me that. You're like that. Stop. Take off the Arsenal tinted glasses and just be honest. That wasn't a pen.
Bro, it's soft.
But McDermott is saying it himself.
Bro, it's soft, but they gave it. It's a penalty.
No, but they gave it. But do you think it's a pen, though, Gal? Do you think it's a pen?
Yes or no?
Listen, I didn't think the one that we got against Leicester wasn't a penalty.
Just say yes or no.
Make a question.
But guess what? If you make indirect contact with a player and you stop them in the final third from continuing with their movement, that is a penalty.
No. Do you know
why he didn't stop anyone?
You know why that's not the case? Because in that game, there was also a chance when we're pressing last minutes of that game, and Elliot goes and nicks the ball in front of.
Oh, that's not even comparable. Elliot dived.
Elliot dived than that kick.
Elliot dived.
More of a pen than that kick. I'm not saying it was a pen, but that's more of a pen. But Egal,
Elliot dived into our man.
Thiago and Gabriel in the Arsenal game, was that a pen? Yes or no?
Bro, it's not a penalty. Elliot dived.
That's exactly.
No. The first one.
The first one.
Bro, I get it that
Thiago
it's soft,
and Gabriel.
the penalty.
Is it a pen?
Yes, because the player touched the guy's foot. You can't.
It's a contact sport, Egal. Is that a penalty? Yes or no?
Bro, you can't kick someone's leg in the box and try to get away with it and say it's not a penalty.
That was a graze. That wasn't even a kick.
Nowhere near. He was nowhere near. Thing. He kicked Jesus' foot. He had. What is it?
Daniel said definite.
How is Jesus supposed to control the ball? 1 second. How is Jesus supposed to control the ball as a footballer in the final third of the box when you're getting kicked? Even if it's the lightest thing.
I've seen Jesus get a shoulder barge in the back and control the ball from 40-yard pass. Don't even give me that. Don't give me that.
It's different when you're actually. It's different if you're using another limb to control the ball, but if you're using that foot to control the ball, and that's the foot that gets kicked, it's a penalty, bro.
No, but I've seen him control the ball. We're getting barged in that side.
The same foot. He's dived
to go and get
Thiago was late. Thiago was late. He tried to go for the ball. Jesus was there before him. His foot was about to get the ball and take it under control. Thiago hit his foot. It's all he has the right to do what he does.
Can I just say?
What?
Did he dive?
Bro, he went down because he got hit in the foot and he had no control.
Yeah.
Can I just say, I'm actually
listen, it is a penalty based on the fact that you deterred him.
The first thing you went into, the first argument you said was, it's because of what happened in that game. That's why it should be a pen. I'm not talking about what happened in that game. I'm saying all things being equal, is that a pen? Yes or no?
Is that a foul on Thiago?
Is that a foul?
Thiago?
Guys, I'm going to interject here as a host. Egal, answer the question with a straight yes or no. Do you think it's a penalty?
Yes, because it's a foul on Thiago. He was late and he hit Gabriel Jesus.
And that's, do you know what I say, Gal? Sometimes what can be infuriating by you is you give a political answer that people just want to get your direct, honest opinion, not, well, it was given. No, we know it was given. We wouldn't need to ask you for that. We saw it. What do you think?
Can I just say I'm happy that Arsenal are getting these 50-50 calls or 60-40 calls in one way, because for too long a narrative has been spouted by Arsenal fans. It's on social media in prominent, YouTube positions that there's an agenda, a referee agenda, Premier League agenda against Arsenal, even dating back to the Invincibles to current day. That is no longer the case. It never was the case, by the way, but it's no longer the case. 8 wins out of 9. Decisions are going your ways. You know, red cards that you could have gotten against Man United not being given, penalties that you could have been given away against Liverpool not being given. There are no excuses. Whatever happens this season is all on you. It's always been on you, by the way, but you lot can't use that excuse. I'm happy. I'm happy Liverpool lost, and I'm happy Arsenal are getting 50-50.
I think what's even more interesting. What's even more interesting is that, like, with these decisions that you're talking about, Neeks, and I know you're saying that a little bit in jest, but a little bit of fact, or no, a lot of facts actually as well. But it's almost much of a coincidence that when you're actually playing well, decisions start to go your way, to be honest. So,
no excuses.
How convenient. All it is that in the end, the decisions of a referee are never why you end up where you end up. You end up where you end up, whether you're good enough or you're not, because referees get bad decisions against every team in the league.
Apart from Anthony Taylor.
We've been trying to tell you that for how long?
Yeah, but Anthony Taylor's had some bad refereeing games against Chelsea, but he isn't the reason.
Not some.
Okay, no,
not some.
Okay. Let me finish my point. Sorry. What I mean is a lot then, but my point remains that he wouldn't be the reason you didn't make top 4 or didn't win a league title. That's what I mean. Next incident. Now this was another one that's gone Arsenal's way. I want JJ's opinion on this. Did Gabriel handball it, and should it have been a penalty? Was his arm in an unnatural position and shape?
I mean, you've seen it given. Like, to say you haven't seen it given, you'd be lying. I mean, look, if that was again, if we got a penalty for that, it'd be harsh. But I've seen us get penalties for that. I've seen us get penalties for that also. So it's one way it's 50-50. I think the issue just goes back to just the refereeing decisions and the kind of the consistency in the game with the refereeing decision, because it's just a problem at the moment. I mean, you're looking at like that handball there. That's exactly. I mean, that is an unnatural position in the letter of the game. That is a handball. So it's gone to the benefit of Arsenal. But I mean, come on, for Liverpool fans to start clutching at that and saying that's the reason why we lost. I mean, I think we'll get into that later on, but I think that's a bit of a. I mean, that's a stretch, but it is. I mean, if that was a pen, Igal couldn't sit here and be like, "We've been robbed." Do you know what I mean? Like, we've seen.
No, because we would still win. But let me say,
wow.
I genuinely I still believe we would still win. But JJ, let me say this: you just said chest. It hit his chest. But at the same time, it hit his chest and then it hit his hand. If you
it didn't. It hit straight. It hit his arm straight.
One second. Anybody who actually hasn't watched the video, I implore you to watch the video.
I've watched it a few times.
Yeah.
I heard that excuse from Arsenal fans.
But irrespective of that, I agree with JJ that I would be egregious, as I was Burnley away when Pepe, it hit his hand directly in the box, but they ruled it that it was too close and they didn't give it. Last year, I think they were giving those kind of goals. This year, it doesn't seem like they're giving it. But I still feel like it deservedly so. Some people will be outraged, and I understand it, and I would be upset that if it wasn't given to me. But hey, I get it that they changed the rules, and that's probably why it wasn't given.
JJ, you might be the nicest Liverpool fan ever. That is 1,000% a penalty.
No. But the problem is, do you know what it is though? I can go and scream about it's a penalty, but because we haven't played well and because I'm fuming, I'm not going to stand here and die on my sword and say that's the reason why we. Of course, I'm saying that's a massive decision in the game. Facts. That's a massive decision in the game because that goal, given a penalty, do you know what I mean that could change the swing of the game. Do you know what I mean? Igal saying we could have went and won. I mean, that first half, you know what I mean? A lot of the time, you weren't as good as you were in other games. Credit to you guys won, but you weren't as good as you were in the previous games. And you were getting more or less popped off with Thiago and Henderson, just them two in midfield, which you know what I mean? Which is a bit of a madness. But, come on, like, it is a 50-50 because I've seen those not given, but I've also seen this season, you're saying the rules been changed. It hasn't been changed. Because this season, I'm not going to start lying and saying I remember the game off the top of my head. I think it was a Tottenham game, but it was a Tottenham game where there was a penalty given for the same type of thing. He's gone up for a header and it's hit his hand. So, you know what I mean?
That's a penalty.
Yeah, it's a penalty all day long, man. I was so shocked when they didn't give it. The Saka goal, when they said Saka was offside for the first goal, he's onside, and we always want to give the advantage to the attacking team. So even as a Spurs fan, I'm not going to sit here and say Arsenal should be penalised. But that one for me is clear handball. His hand was in an unnatural position, and he gained an advantage by stopping the ball going through. So I was surprised that they didn't give it, but
hit his chest. But I just want to say something, JJ. I agree. Liverpool, from when we scored that opening goal until Saka scored, you guys had a lot of control of the game. But second half, we changed the game, and Xhaka started overlapping Martinelli, which stretched you guys and gave Martinelli more space inside, and that's how we gained more control of the game. Somehow, you guys couldn't adjust to the tactics that we did in the second half.
Of course, I mean,
and I believe, regardless,
that will be the case. But if you're talking about the decision, it didn't come off his chest. I don't know what video.
I can send it to you right now.
I'm looking at it in slow motion, and it does touch his chest because you can see the shirt move. When I say touch his chest, I'm going to be really neutral on this. You see the shirt move. It's clipped him. It hasn't hit his chest and bounced another direction. It would have hit the arm whether it clipped him or not, if that makes sense. So you do see the shirt move. So, I mean, that kind of maybe changes things.
But equally, no, you're right. It does hit. I've seen the video. I've seen the video. And I saw when I was talking about it. But that's not the reason it wasn't given, because we've heard the directive since then was that it's a subjective decision based on proximity. Now, for me, it's a handball because his arm is like shoulder height or above, and the hand itself is above the shoulder, but where it hits on his arm is about shoulder height. But it's proximity. But for me, you've got the VAR. I don't know the conversation. I think Terry said this before. We don't know the conversation that's been had with the referee. I think you have to say to the referee, I'm not telling you to change your decision, but go over to the camera and have a look. Just have a look. That's true. If you want to keep your decision, keep your decision. But I just think it's so wrong that we see every angle, we see slow-mo, bird's eye view, all that kind of stuff. The referee gets one choice, and the VAR basically says, "All right, we're not gonna."
Yeah. What I'm really confused about the handball law. Yeah, I agree. What I don't understand about the handball law in general right now, I understand it in terms of what it says in the protocols, but why is an accidental handball in the build up to a goal most of the time disallowed, but an accidental handball when you're defending doesn't always lead to a penalty? Surely they're either handball or they're not handball. And if you make it a sweeping statement, I swear in Spain at one point, if it just hit your hand, it was handball. That was the rule. Like in hockey, the ball touches your feet on purpose or not, there's a foul given. And I almost feel like we need something along those lines. Because you saw Rashford's goal disallowed. Yes, this Skamaka's one was the funniest one all day yesterday because he knew I thought he was doing a bit of a Cantona celebration. And then he realized he was like, that hit my hand, it's going to be disallowed. And then when he celebrated afterwards, why didn't he do that in the first place? Because he knew it hit his hand. It's crazy. For me, I don't think this one is a handball. It's the why. This is by the letter of the law. I can see why it'd be given, and I understand why people say you've got to give it. But whenever I see these ones that are that close, I don't think they should be, because although his arm's in the air, we've all played football. It's not unnatural. I know it looks it because it's a little bit like a tutu carmoon or whatever it is. You know what I mean? The Egyptian dancing people do at school, right? Like a swan. But your arms do that when you're running and you slow down and you're changing direction. Does that make sense? Even the headed one the other day where someone's arm was in the air. Sometimes Dan Burns was sometimes your arms just do that on the way down. Like if you jump in the air, no one's arms stay by their side.
But this is the problem. The Dan Burn one is given, the Gabriel one isn't. The Antonio one and the Skamaka one.
I agree.
The Rashford one is. That's the real problem.
I agree. I agree. I agree. But I'm staying consistent, and I don't think those types of handballs should be penalties. So I'm going to maintain that consistency and say I don't think they should be given, because if my club concedes one, I don't like it, because I don't think there's no intent. And if you don't intend to handball it and you're within 3 to 4 foot of the player, you can't get out the way. The ball moves too quickly. If that happens and the ball travels 7, 8, 9 yards and hits his arm that was out, and there's no attempt to move out the way, then fair enough. But for me, I understand why it wasn't given, but I do get why Liverpool fans will be aggrieved. And you know what's going to happen as well? Either in the Champions League or this weekend, Liverpool are going to concede one very similarly. That's normally what happens. You'll concede one against City. Haaland gets his 4th goal of the game, and it'll compound it. Like that's how it's going to go. Terry's an Arsenal fan in disguise. No, I just have moral.
He's not in disguise. No, he's not in disguise.
I'm open about it. No, but listen, I've got moral fiber. And when Luke Shaw conceded a penalty in that exact same way against West Ham, I said I think it's a disgrace it was given. So therefore, I can't say this is a penalty. Otherwise, that makes me a liar and a hypocrite. And I'm just not going to do that. I don't change my opinion on things just because my team got punished by something. It's just, I think that's a bit of a, no disrespect, Ali, you're probably a nice guy, but if you like flip flop that in front of your woman, she's leaving you, bruv. You need to be strong, man. You need to be a strong man. The problem is true.
Wow.
Oh, it's the truth. You need to have a strong backbone in life, Ali. And honestly, she'll be out that door. She may not even come through the door. Who knows? The problem we have now is too many initiations with handball. There was the one with Mahrez against Real Sociedad, and then the one Martinez, against Real Sociedad, and then the one against Middlesbrough. I mean, the weirdest thing about Rashford yesterday, if Rashford squares the ball, it's a goal. As long as you pass it and you don't actually score it yourself, that actually makes no sense. That means
your hand can't assist you, but it can be used to assist your teammate. So that's basically what they're saying.
So as long as you don't get seen by the ref, you could handball it 3 times. You could juggle it with your hands, square it and score. And as long as the referee don't see it, it's a goal. It's fucking
kick it straight at the keeper. They get the rebound and score because the second phase of play. Like, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
TCC here says the ball hit Gabriel's chest first and deflected. Seen a clear clip, no question of handball is what TCC has got to say there. Even as an Arsenal fan, that Gabriel incident was a clear pen. I remember us complaining about Pepe's incident versus Burnley, where we didn't get one. And that's my point. If you're an Arsenal fan that thought Pepe's was a penalty, you have to say this one's a penalty. Otherwise, you're a liar. So that's why I don't do it, because I'm not getting clipped up. I'm not having me saying one's a pen and one isn't and getting clipped up a meme. I just keep my energy straight.
Someone needs to clip Terry, actually, because he clips everyone.
The way I see it, the reason why I'm
ungettable.
The reason why I'm kind of edging with obviously Terry and stuff, saying that look, I don't think it's necessarily a pen, is because if that was the other way round, I know I'd be fuming. I wouldn't be sitting there saying, "Oh yeah, you know what? It was a pen." Do you know what I mean? I can't believe what happened. I'd be on the gal's train in it. So I've got to take off my red tinted glasses sometimes, and I've got to be unbiased. Like, I can't.
The thing is, though, for me though, like as a football fan, like I get that we do the podcast thing, and like you said, no one's trying to get clipped and stuff for being inconsistent and stuff. But I won't lie to you. When I watch Chelsea, I complain at every decision that doesn't go my way. So it's not really about it's not about the decisions per se. Yeah. I just want us to make the right calls, and if they are even if I am to come on and be deluded and say yes, that decision is never changing. So I just want it to be the right call anyway. So that's why, for me personally, those type of handballs, in my opinion, are handballs, because at least the natural when there was no VAR, that I believe that would be given as a pen if the ref sees it. Like there'd be no question of it, because you'd say unnatural position. You just think he's got his hand.
If it was given, VAR wouldn't have overturned it either.